Welcome to the Snowbird Investor Way, where we explore what it takes to create your dream cross-border lifestyle, living and investing amongst the sun, sand, and palm trees of Florida, even if you're not a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. I'm your host, Coach Roel. So Onkar Mishra, welcome from Ajax, Ontario. And you have a construction company that does something quite interesting we want to get into, but you also have an interest and some knowledge about Florida, correct?
Yes, that's right. And first of all, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to be on here as well. We were just chatting a little bit about your attraction to Florida. You took an epic
Mhm.
road trip
Yeah,
recently. Could you
yes.
continue to expand on that? When was that, and
Mhm.
where did you go?
Yeah, it was actually beginning of 2023, January 23. My daughter, she's 7 now, so for a long time she was talking, she wanted to go to Disneyland. So this that year we decided, okay, we'll go there. And then in the last moment, we were going to book flights, but I decided, why not? I take this as an opportunity for me to explore Florida. So we did a road trip instead. So we went all the way from Canada, but when we're talking about Florida, we entered through Jacksonville. We went to Orlando, stayed there 3 days. Then we turned to East Coast and towards West Side. We came to Miami, spent night there. Then we went to all the way to Key West, and coming back, we stopped at again Miami, and then Port St. Louis, and back to Jacksonville. So my intention was to get a good idea of both big cities and inside of Florida, and yeah, that was quite an experience.
Excellent. That
Yeah,
must that sounds amazing. I really would love to do
it
a trip like that.
it was just
How
yeah.
many days or how many weeks on the road
Oh,
was that whole trip?
it was around in total 12 days long. If I count from Toronto and back to Toronto, it was roughly 12 days long. We did in
Oh,
the
wow,
middle of
it's pretty
January.
quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Good part was we didn't book any accommodations in advance. We will keep on driving. We will add routes on the go, and wherever like it's night around 9, 10, we would go there and book a stay. And yeah, so that was more unpredicted fun, you can say.
That sounds amazing. Good for you. What an
Yeah.
adventure.
Yeah, it was.
What did you so what was first of all, what was your purpose of doing that? Was it just for fun or was there some business motivation? I know you mentioned your daughter and Disneyland.
Mhm.
That's an awesome promise to keep.
Yeah, so definitely that was one of the reasons to spend our winter vacation over there and take her to Disneyland. But also I was very interested. So I'm a real estate investor. I have two residential and one commercial property here in Canada, and I was looking to buy something there in Florida. So initially I was thinking about Miami and Orlando, and for this trip I thought, why not? Let's go and explore because I know Florida has a lot more to offer than Miami and Orlando. Probably when we sit here in Canada, we don't know much. We just go by the big names. And actually, that was an eye-opening thing for me when I did that trip to see how many small towns and every town has their own culture and like its own identity. Is not Florida is not just, these big three, Tampa, Miami, Orlando. So to understand more and then decide where I want to do investment, what I want to buy, that was a main purpose for me.
What was one of the most interesting things you discovered during that trip regarding
Y-
the different
Yeah.
towns, regarding investment opportunities in
Mhm.
Florida?
Yeah, so what we want to do in Florida, why we like Florida is because of sunshine, nice and warm weather and sunshine. And really good thing is that is not just in Miami or Orlando where property prices are really high. Even if you stay inside Florida, Mother Nature gives you same kind of sunshine and warm weather. So that way, whatever is your price point, you can find something in Florida is not like here in Toronto, like Toronto City is center of everything, and then when you go a little bit out, there is nothing. But there, even if you have low budget, you can still find a house or an apartment that fits within your budget, and still you can enjoy warm weather. That was one of the First thing I learned. And also a lot of availability, like you can buy a condotel, you can buy a mobile home, you can buy a fully detached house. So you can customize exactly what you want to do with your investment.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And when you say budget, what were some of
Yeah.
the lower end
Mhm.
budgets that you saw that
So,
seemed to realistically
mhm.
fit a possible investment?
So before coming to budget, we have to ask a question ourselves. Do I want just a vacation property in Florida where whenever I want to go there, stay, and when I come back, it stays vacant? Or if I want something that I would be living there, and when I'm not living there, maybe I'll be using as a short-term rental. So once you have answer to this question, that helps you decide where you buy. If you want to buy for short-term rental and self-use, you have to see other factors like, okay, what are the facilities? What is the nearest airport and this thing? But if that is not your consideration, you just want to spend good time over there and come back, then whole Florida you can buy anywhere. Even if you have although, yes, one needs to do a bit due diligence to decide what to buy and what not. But even if you have like 40, $50,000, you can go and buy a mobile home or a manufactured home that is just good enough to stay there week or even month and then just lock it out and come back. So that was a really good thing for me to know.
Hmm. Hmm. And
Yeah.
you also said that you've been to Miami a few times
Yes, I did.
as well.
Mhm.
Any what keeps bringing you back to Miami?
So personally, I like the city, especially Miami Beach. Whenever I go, I stay in Miami Beach area. The beaches, the you can say vibration of city. It really feels like alive, and of course, weather has a big part in it. And all the facilities, all the food, you really get nice authentic Mexican and Spanish food. Next thing back to Mexico, you can get over there. And I like in general the city is just like my personal favorite is Miami. I like it more than Orlando even. So
Hmm.
and it has everything to offer you. It offers you beaches. It offers you nightlife. Very nice city. Very good amenities. Close to all the airports. So you can get everything. If you're not sure where do I want to go in Florida, go to Miami. You will probably get everything there. Yeah. So that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I live in Orlando, and I agree with you. Miami's
Uh-huh.
my favorite city to visit. The
Yeah.
vibe, the history, the
Yes.
culture. You see
Hmm.
all the Ocean Drive, right, in Miami Beach, where they filmed
Yes.
Scarface, and they filmed so many
Uh-huh.
famous movies there. It's a really
Yeah.
fun city to
Yeah.
go
And
to.
very recently, I was in this December, I was in Miami. So I was exploring more towards north side of beaches. They are more quiet, but then it's really nicely developed beaches like Hollywood Beach and places like that. Very nice places to eat and take a easy walk on the in the evening time. So it's great. It's
Hmm.
you don't have to think before whichever direction you go, you'll find something there to enjoy.
So north of Miami, tell me about one of those
Yeah.
little beaches. I'm familiar with it myself, but
Uh-huh. Yeah.
our listeners may not be. Like there's
Hmm.
Boynton Beach, Hollywood, there's
Yeah.
Deerfield, Hallandale.
Hmm. Yeah.
Which one of those stands out for you and why?
For me, I liked though it's a long extension of beaches. So when you go, you start from South Beach, you go to Middle Beach, and then you go to North, like Sunny Island, Hollywood Beach. Hollywood Beach I particularly like because it has a lot of. I was looking for a nice seaside place where I can sit very close to sea and enjoy my dinner. Hollywood Beach has those kind of places over there. And in general, it's not as busy as North Beach. You can have some good family time if you like that. You can have even a long walk on the beach and just do nothing. And that's more like space, quiet space you find there. Whereas when you go to South Beach, that's like a popular point. So all the time people would be there, activities would be going on there. So it gives like a bit good mix of what you want to do there.
Right. South Beach is more
Yeah,
like party central. Can you believe I
exactly. Yeah.
actually, I'll blame it on my wife, but we had
Uh-huh.
actually visited South Beach, Miami in spring break in
Oh,
2023.
wow. Okay.
And
Uh-huh.
that was an experience of itself. Like you see it on
Yeah.
on TV, you see it in the movies, you see it on the
uh,
news. It's nothing
yeah,
like actually being there and seeing the
yeah,
crowds that just
yeah.
descend on South Beach. But
Hmm.
Hollywood, yes, we were there recently as well. And
Hmm.
I know what you mean. There's that strip of shops there. It's
Yes.
a little bit quieter.
Hmm.
You don't have to park, and it's a long walk to the actual
Yeah,
beach. It's very
yeah.
close. It's a good distance. And you can
Hmm.
just sit and sip a coffee or a cocktail, and you just walk
Yeah.
across the street, and you have the beach and the ocean right there.
Yeah, you can like as you said, you can enjoy your dinner or coffee, and you can, you can listen to those sea waves and nice sea breeze that is coming to you. I don't think South Beach has any such places, but there are a lot of restaurants and places, but they are a bit away from the beach. Whereas in Hollywood, you are right on the beach. So that
Yeah,
was a
you have
really
the
good
sight
thing for
line is
me.
right there.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So,
There's actually a lot of
mhm,
development that's going to be starting there, or has started in
mhm,
Hollywood. Did you notice the
mhm.
big Margaritaville resort right in the middle of the
Uh,
action there?
Probably I missed it because that whole area is nice, high-end buildings, those Trump Towers and all these five-star hotels. So there is like a whole line of big, huge buildings, expensive properties. I might have missed it, but yeah, that area is feels like it's a high-end area, and compared to South Beach, that is like a place for everyone. It's, you'll find some high rises, but you also find some very old properties, and then, all type of people are enjoying over there. So yeah, that's a bit the difference of scenery when you go towards Sunny Isles and Hollywood beaches.
Hmm. So, from
Yes.
your unique perspective, you are
Hmm.
also a builder. So,
Yeah.
first of all, can you tell me a little bit about your business in Ajax, Ontario?
So we are into residential construction, and our main focus is converting single family homes into duplexes with permit and inspection, and also so yeah, don't want to it's just not just a business for me. It's also, you can say, kind of our way of contribution, because Ontario and particularly Toronto has a housing crisis and the housing affordability crisis. So what we do, it
Yeah.
helps people get more housing so they can get cheap housing compared to if they have to go and rent a condo, and also homeowners who cannot otherwise afford a very expensive single family house, but they convert their house into a duplex and they have a rental income that helps with their mortgage. So that is why I like this business a lot. And our focus is taking complete charge from the planning to city permit to construction, and dealing with city with for inspection, and finally getting a legal letter from city that this property is officially a legal duplex, or as you call in Canada, legal basement. So that we have been doing since 2019, and last year alone we did more than 40 such projects, and each project is a long 2 to 2.5 month project involving at least 60 to $80,000. But that adds a tremendous value to the property. So that's we have been doing for last 4 years. I have a team of 12 people. I have our own designer, architect, and all licensed trade people. So that we do in Durham from Scarborough all the way to Bowmanville. We take those projects.
Excellent. Wow, you guys
Mhm.
must be, I would imagine you're pretty
Yeah.
busy.
We are, yeah, at times, since usually from November till January things bit slow down because of for Christmas people don't want to start new projects and all. But right from January we are again getting a lot of new queries, and we are busy visiting places, creating estimates and these things. So yeah, this is something that is always in demand as long as
That's
there is
great.
a housing issue in Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really happy
Hmm.
that we got to meet here and that we have this platform for you to
Hmm.
send out because I've been saying for years, like I
Yeah.
relocated my family down from Toronto to
Hmm.
Orlando in
Hmm.
late 2017. And
Okay.
one of the
That's
things
great.
I noticed, we had started actually investing in Canadian real estate probably in
Mhm.
2012.
Okay.
And I really saw the writing on the wall that there's
Hmm.
no more land to be
Yeah.
developed in the
Yeah.
416 area code.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
so the city and the province wants
Hmm.
more densification. So
Yeah.
they're only, that's why there, you see at one point, I'm sure you remember, there
Hmm.
was like dozens of high-rise condo towers, cranes
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
built. That's what I mean by densification. And then for the existing inventory, single-family homes, it
Yeah.
doesn't work. You have to buy a property for 800,000, and
Yeah.
6-7 years ago you could only rent it out for maybe 2,000 or 2,500. Those numbers
Mm-hmm.
don't work. But if you
Yeah,
add a
that's true.
second unit,
Yeah.
a legal second unit,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
ideally, then
Yeah.
you're able to force that that cash flow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm really excited that we have you on this, and that every listener or viewer in the future can also reach out to you. And we used to call it duplexing 10 years
It's
ago.
yeah.
Do you still use that term?
Some people do, especially if you are from investment side, but a more common term these days is a legal basement, which is a
Yeah,
basement with a legal permit to rent. So yeah, but duplexing, you can say it is a duplexing where we convert single family home into a two family homes. Yeah.
that's excellent. And
Yeah.
would you have any idea, like on average, if
Mm-hmm.
someone's putting in a legal basement in order
Mm-hmm.
to rent out for additional income, do you
Mm-hmm.
have an idea of what like the range of the rent they can receive from doing that?
It it depends totally on the area where the house is located. But I will give you a very recent example. We finished roughly 2 months ago a house in Bay Ajax. We got the permit, and within 3 weeks, that property was rented for 2,200. It was a two-bedroom, one kitchen and washroom apartment with a small family room, very standard basement, and it was rented for 2,200. Probably they're charging utilities as well. I didn't exactly get the idea what percentage of utility they're charging, but the homeowner gave me this info that yeah, it's rented for 2,200, and they are very grateful that because with interest rate, people who took their loan probably 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, now they are seeing double monthly payment in mortgage. So having this kind of apartment ready on time and getting extra income, it is very helpful for homeowners. So it
Right.
depends. If it is
And did
close to
you,
Toronto, maybe we can get more around 25, 2,600. Depends on the
so
location.
could you remind me
Hmm.
what was the general area of that one? And
Yeah.
then also what was the approximate cost to the owner, the homeowner?
So this was in Ajax, close to, you can say, if you know the area, 401 and Harvard. And
Yes.
it was a complete new basement project. It costed homeowners 60,000. Good part was they did not need to build a separate entrance because the way their house was built, the staircase was going from the side of house. So we were able to make an entrance over there rather than digging down and making a new entrance. But apart from that, it cost $60,000 to them.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a really good move. See, I don't know if you know, but I used to be, well, I'm still a Canadian certified financial planner. And
Mm-hmm.
the way I look at that, the way I'm just looking at my calculator, if I take
Mm-hmm.
$2,200 a month divided by a
Mm-hmm.
$60,000 investment
Mm-hmm.
times 100, that's a
Mm-hmm.
return on investment of 366% or
That's right.
3.66. Sorry,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
3.67.
3 times. You get 3 times return.
Yeah, so that's really paid off in like what, a third of the year, 2,200. So we take, if we do it the opposite way around,
No,
60,000. Sorry,
it will
I'm
be it
totally
will
off.
yeah, yeah, it will be it will you'll take three it will take 3 years
Two
for you to
years,
pay
just a
off.
little over two
But
years.
as you know, not everybody does it through out of their pocket. It is basically a financing. So if you compare it with the interest you are paying on financing, you're still making a very decent return once the apartment is ready and you start getting rental. Not just that, even if you're planning to sell your house, a house that is just a single family house compared to a house who's a legal duplex, you get significantly more valuation for the house as well.
Yes,
So
for
by all
sure.
means, it is a good investment decision as well as a more practical decision to increase your income.
Exactly. And put it
Mhm.
further to your point, if I were to say,
Yeah.
okay, here, Mr. or Mrs. Toronto investor
Hmm.
or homeowner,
Hmm. Hmm.
I have an opportunity for you. It's
Hmm.
cost $60,000 is the
Hmm.
investment. But
Hmm.
then when it's done, you can
Yeah.
receive $2,200 per month in income. Now,
Yeah.
either you can use all cash from your
Mm-hmm.
savings for
Mm-hmm.
60,000, or like you
Yeah.
said, you could finance it, which would
Mm-hmm.
be even better. But
Yeah.
either way, that's like saying, where can you buy
Mm-hmm.
a an investment property for $60,000 and
Mm-hmm.
then rent it out for 2,200 a month? It just doesn't
That's
exist,
right. Yeah.
right? Well, actually, some places in Florida it might exist, but in the GTA,
In
that's a
GTA, it's unheard of.
that's a
Like,
no-brainer.
I just calculated if you do 2,200 a month return on a $60,000 investment, your annual returns are 44%.
Hmm.
And little over 2 years, you recover all your investment. And even if you have to borrow money at 15%, still you have a decent gap between what you borrow and how much you're earning. So it is a good
Right.
decision. Plus, it also helps with housing affordability crisis. So it is helping a family, maybe a family with kids, to stay closer to their schools or their good facilities. And then, of course, it helps investor or homeowner making extra income. So it's a win-win for everyone.
Exactly. Yeah. And
Yeah.
like I was saying, for years, I've been saying that the only real
Hmm.
dependable way to be able to
Hmm.
cash flow in the
Hmm.
GTA in
Hmm.
modern times is by adding
Yeah.
an additional legal suite that
Another unit.
you
Yeah.
can rent
Yeah.
out.
Hmm. And good thing is there is not many legal or zoning hurdle. Almost every city in GTA allows a very streamlined process of getting a legal basement apartment. Compared to if you are trying to build into a triplex or fourplex, there are hoops to jump. But a legal duplex has a very straightforward permit process. So that saves us time and cost as well.
Yes, nowadays, but
Hmm.
12 years ago when I first started, it was very, very
Hmm.
difficult. It took
Yeah.
the local governments, especially the
Hmm.
Toronto government, a very long
Hmm.
time to catch up with that.
Yeah.
I
It.
remember we were trying to push as an investor group, we were trying to lobby the government to allow for rooming houses
Hmm.
because we saw the writing on the wall as investors. We saw
Yeah.
that there's not enough housing for people.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
at any rate,
Yeah.
it's really great
I,
that you're doing this again.
yeah.
So with all the busyness and the demand that you have with your
Hmm.
business back home in Ajax,
Hmm.
what is the attraction for you for Florida? How does that fit in with your overall plan for yourself and your family?
Yeah, so as I said, Florida is not just a vacation spot. Of course, there is a big part of nice weather. I can see from your screen a nice sunshine and probably a palm tree compared to me out here. It's not snow. Good thing we didn't get much of snow this year, but it's still pretty cold outside. So yeah, apart
Yeah.
from the sunshine factor, as I said, it's a diversification of your investment. One major thing I have concern investing in Toronto is basically property prices are rising, probably were rising before this interest rate shock we got. But if you see there is not enough fundamental to support it, it is not that people's incomes are increasing with 200% speed, and it's not the economy is growing so much. It's just some like scarcity and some speculation the way property prices are rising in Toronto. So Florida provides a good diversification that all your money is not tied to same city. And as I said, the price points are very variable out there in Florida. You can buy something in couple of 100,000 and you can go up to multi-million dollars. Just like like I'm following that Sunny Isle beach area. I see like a three-bedroom condo goes for few $1 million. And so that's like all diversity of different kind. And plus, Florida is like a happening place. Even people who are living in other parts of US, they want to move to Florida because of good weather, also business friendly policies. And those are the reason even for me to have a first US investment, I would prefer doing it in Florida than maybe in New York or some other West Coast. And also, we are in same time zone. You can take a flight and probably within 2 hours you are down in Florida. So very good connectivity to that place as well.
Yes. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
preaching to the choir, as they say. That's all the same reasons that I noticed, and I
Yeah.
thought, you know what? I don't want to
Uh-huh.
wait until I'm quote unquote
Yeah.
old. You know,
Yeah,
the
that's true.
the assumption about Florida, I don't know if you've heard
Yeah.
this, Onkar, is that some people call it heaven's waiting room. You
Oh,
just go there
it
and
could be. Yeah.
you go there
Yeah.
and you wait to die. But it's not a bad place to
Mhm.
wait until you die because
No, no,
the weather is just
you
it's
people.
just you got to get
I feel
outside.
people are lucky. Like whenever I see some, including you, who's living in Florida, I consider them very lucky that yeah, they have what I want to have. So yeah, having just one property, okay, it's one thing to buy a property, and I'm considering buying one property, but then yeah, also developing a lifestyle that allows you to stay there and you can do the same business or same work that you are doing for here. That does take a lot of planning and a lot of advice. So I'm very
Yeah.
happy and grateful that you are helping people with those things.
Yeah, thanks. My pleasure. And with your
Hmm.
background, I'm sure you would have no problem being able to find something where you can get
Hmm.
value when you
Yeah.
purchase it, but then
Hmm.
increase the value in a few different ways, right? Just by
Yeah.
even if you're not the one doing the construction yourself,
Hmm.
you have that knowledge. And that's what I've
Yeah.
been trying to tell
Yeah.
people for a long time
Hmm.
is if
Hmm.
you don't have my background in personal
Hmm.
finance, that's probably a
Hmm.
good thing because a background in real estate is actually better or
Hmm.
whatever skills you have.
Yeah.
You can always find a way to apply that. And then whatever skills
Hmm.
you don't have, well, that's where
Hmm.
you gather a team of local
Yeah.
professionals to be able to help
Yeah.
you with those,
And
right?
good thing is real estate is still something, you cannot order from Amazon. You have to have people there and build those things. So it's still like a very stable and growing field. Although it's like probably thousands of years of old, but still it hasn't lost its charm. It still takes, it's good return, but it also takes a good amount of money and effort to basically build a very good piece of real estate. So, yeah, that's why I
Hmm.
liked this profession. Hmm.
So one of the
Yeah.
last questions I want to ask you, Ankar, is let's
Hmm.
fast forward two to maybe 5 years with
Hmm.
your plan. Just out of
Hmm.
curiosity, how does what does that look like for you in terms of Florida? Like
Hmm.
when you've already gone beyond your first property, what would your
Hmm.
lifestyle look like that involves both Canada and Florida?
As I said, ideally it would be like beyond that one property, I would be willing to hold more properties down in Florida. So some would be a mix of my own usage and rental, or others would be purely investment properties with either long-term or short-term rental. That would be one thing. And also, I'm trying to uh, structure my business in such a way that doesn't mean me to be physically present all the time here in Toronto. I'm already working towards that, so I have a team member who can take those supervisor responsibilities that I'm doing right now, so I can, if not all, maybe 70/30, I can distribute my time between living and don't get me wrong, I love summer months in Canada. Like I won't go anywhere leaving May, June, July. I love Canada. I love going into hiking and biking and going into those trails and camping. So those things I'm always want to keep. But yeah, when it comes to slightly colder months, I want to stay there in Florida, and not just as a recreation, but also for my investment. And could be that I could expand my business there as well. Real estate is in demand, construction is in demand everywhere. So I might have like a small operations going down there as well. Miami and Orlando are really big and growing cities. So that
Hmm.
is something, yeah, I'm planning for the next 5 years.
Exciting. Yeah, for sure, because there is a huge influx still.
Yeah.
The Florida state was actually the
Hmm.
fastest growing state in the whole of
Hmm.
the US at the
Yeah.
end of 2022. It was
Hmm.
still the fastest growing state, which is huge because it's already the third largest state. So
Okay.
percentage
Yeah.
wise, it's the fastest growing state, which
Hmm.
in absolute numbers, I worked it out. It was about 8,000 people per week
Uh-huh.
net are still
Yeah.
moving into Florida.
Yeah.
Yes, people are moving
Yeah.
out, and you see a lot of
Yeah.
negativity online, people saying
Hmm.
stay away from Florida, whatever, whatever. But that's just media and social media, right? People only like to focus on the negative.
No, no, I've
But
been there 5 times myself. It's not that I'm just taking something from news. As I said, like I've been there in total 5 times in last, say, 4 or 5 years. So I've seen with my eyes. I don't notice anything that people stereotype Florida, as a southern state and people with very conservative mentality and those things. I haven't seen anything like that. Probably I don't want to discriminate or anything, but I would feel more insecure in New York City than in Florida. Kind of scenery you see there. So yeah, it's all
Yeah,
about
agreed.
perception. Yeah.
Yeah, preach,
Hmm.
preach, my brother. You got to
Yeah.
let
Yeah.
other Canadians know it's nothing like
Yeah.
what you see in the media.
Yeah.
It's so much
It's
nicer.
it's yeah. You have to be there to feel it. And good thing, lot people are considering thinking about their going there for vacation. And when they go the first for vacation, then they start thinking about having a property over there. So yeah,
Hmm.
I think it's changing.
Excellent. You have an
Yeah.
inspirational story about your journey so far. It's far
Thank you.
from over.
Thank you.
But
Hmm.
how do people get in touch with you if they're interested in adding a legal basement suite? I think that should be a service
Yeah.
that everybody knows about.
Yes, it is, and I believe everybody should think about having, if you own a house, especially if a detached or semi-detached house, and if it is your basement is unutilized or underutilized, it is a great way for you to add extra income and also contribute socially by increasing more housing supply, which is a need of today. They can visit our website. It is our company name is Aruba Designs, and our website is www.arubadesigns.com. That way, they can have there you can know about our previous work, our email ID, and our phone number. They can get in touch with us, and from that point off on, we will be very happy to work with all potential customers.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. And again, I thank you for being so gracious with your time.
Mhm.
Onkar
Thank you.
Mishra of Aruba Designs, Aruba being like the Aruba in the Caribbean in South
Aruba, the
America.
island in Caribbean. That's right. Yeah.
Aruba Designs for adding a legal basement suite into your home.
Mhm.
So
Thank
once
you.
again, thank you very much, Onkar Mishra, for sharing your stories with us. And I'm sure it's not the last that we'll see of you.
No, I'll definitely look forward to speaking to you again in future. And thank you too as well for giving me this chance.